When
Mhm.
it comes to smartphone use, someone who might have an addiction to their smart devices tends to lose interest in everything else. Everything else is boring.
Welcome to the Healthy Screen Habits Podcast. I'm Hillary Wilkinson. Whether you're starting your parenting journey with a newborn or looking to connect with your teen on technology, let's learn some new healthy screen habits together. My guest today is a board certified pediatric endocrinologist, TEDx speaker, and a leading expert in digital wellness in Nashville, Tennessee. She is also an award winning researcher. Her research highlights the profound impact of excessive screen time on both physical and mental health, linking it to many problems we are seeing develop not just in childhood, but over our whole population. I'm talking about things like obesity, sleep disorders, poor communication skills, learning deficits. All of these findings have positioned her as a trusted voice on the health consequences of digital overuse. And today we are going to learn why doing things like simply trying to put our phones down just doesn't necessarily work. Thank you for being here today, Dr. Nidhi Gupta.
Thank you so much, Hillary. Thank you for having me on your show.
I'm so glad you're here. Dr. Gupta, how did you come to focus so much of your professional work on digital wellness?
Hillary, about 3 years ago, I left my dream job at a major hospital here in Tennessee to focus my attention on what I was seeing as an epidemic of screen time related side effects in my patients. As a pediatrician working with families closely, I'm seeing firsthand the impact of excessive tech use, not just on their physical health, but on their mental health. Let me share a few patient stories that drove me away from my dream job, Hillary. Riley is a 17-year-old young lady. She developed a bed sore in her lower back from being sedentary for hours after school, immersed in her virtual reality world. Jose is 11. He is up late into the night watching YouTube shorts and reels, during which time he is snacking mindlessly and gaining an enormous amount of weight. I recently saw Allison. She is 15. She spends about 40 to 45-ish hours on her phone every day, every week, mostly on social media, and she shrugs her shoulder and she's like, what's a big deal? My friends spend way more time than that. I don't doubt her. I think she's right. But she is developing signs of eating disorder and she is in denial. And
Mm,
finally, Gary. His parents, over this last Christmas break, took away his video gaming equipment because they were done with his 8 hours of video gaming every day. They were not prepared for the withdrawal symptoms that followed, Hillary. These are
sure.
just four cases from one small town in Tennessee. And while these might seem to be extreme cases, the concern is elevating in families across the nation at this time.
I recognize all of those things. You have this interesting kind of concept of a habit loop that your organization, Freedom Foundation, works to help disrupt. And can you tell us more about this habit loop and
Yeah.
how, even how you recommend how people break it?
So habit loop is a concept that I cannot take credit for thinking of, Hillary, first off. This is the first time I heard about habit loop was in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I borrowed that concept to see how that applies to our interaction with our smart devices. So now I have renamed to use it for wireless mobile devices, and I call it the trigger loop of wireless mobile devices. What drives the trigger loop is dopamine, a sneaky neurotransmitter. It's a little juice that is girded in the brain in response to any reward related cue. Reward related cue, think sugar, salt, fat, spice, think notification. Every time there is a notification on our smart device, the brain squirts that dopamine that makes us crave What is it? What did I get? What did I get? What did I get? So that cue of notification leads to craving. That craving makes us reach for our device, and it has become an automatic, robotic, sub-conditioned response. We are not even thinking about it. Every time there is a notification, we are going through the craving, getting the response, reaching for the device, and the final step in the habit loop is reward. We find a reward waiting for us in our smart device. What might that reward be? It could be a new like, a new post, a new follower, a new comment. And our brain likes rewards. So every time there is a reward, we are waiting for the next cue. Every time there is a cue, we can't wait to get to the next reward. And we find ourselves stuck in this trigger loop of wireless mobile devices. Now, Hillary, things have gotten so bad that even if there is no notification on our devices, we still check just in
Mm-hmm.
case we missed something. That's FOMO, the fear of missing out. And we refresh our screens to see if we missed something. And social media never disappoints. There is always something new to be seen. We keep refreshing. And when we do see something new, then our brain tells us, see, you should have checked sooner. There was something waiting for you. Why did you wait 3 minutes to check? The trigger loop of wireless mobile devices. Now, how do we disrupt it? There are several ways to disrupt it. Number one, delete the queue of notifications. Number two, curb the craving of the dopamine. Be intentional in your each and every interaction with your device. Number three, weaken the response. We've got to put our devices out of sight, out of mind when we need to focus on work, on family, on kids, on driving. And finally, dull the reward. We've got to make our devices boring and unenticing. Now, there are several ways to do all of this, and my book is coming out this summer, in which I outline in great detail how to break each of these four steps of the trigger loop.
Very nice. So, when we're talking about tech overuse, like you shared the stories of your patients earlier, even when we're talking to parents about it, many times people tend to be reticent or they're really not comfortable to link the phrase with addiction. And you are quite an expert in this. I have been corrected in the past by referring to something as an addiction, and people have said, oh, I don't like to bring the A word into it and this. So I just thought I'd take this opportunity to ask you, do you think it is overstepping the mark to call these behaviors that you're seeing of tech overuse and addiction?
Not at all. We are not overstepping by calling what we are seeing in our relationship with our devices and addiction. And I hear you, Hillary. When I started my journey with Freedom Foundation several years ago, I received similar feedback. Let's not call it an addiction. Let's use a different word. Let's call it dependency. Let's
Mhm.
call it something else. And I could see that in the beginning, but now over the last few years, with the way things have shaped up, there is no reason to not call these behaviors addiction. Why? This statement might seem strong, but everything that I say is backed by research. So, based on research, we have now identified several similarities between substance addiction and cell phone addiction. Okay, so let me highlight three similarities between substance addiction and cell phone addiction that might help us accept the usage of the word addiction in the context of smart devices. So, the number one similarity is dangerous use in prohibited settings. Someone who has a problematic substance use disorder often tends to use it in dangerous situations. When it comes to smartphones, someone who has a problematic smartphone use disorder often tends to use it in dangerous and prohibited contexts such as driving,
Mhm.
walking upstairs or going downstairs or riding in the escalator. Dangerous use, even though they know the short term and the long term harm of doing that, it's hard for them to stop. So, if we are unable to stop our craving to do something, that itself is the bottom line definition of addiction. The second similarity, abandonment of usual activities. Someone who might have a substance use disorder often tends to abandon their usual activities. Their entire attention is focused on getting the substance, using it, recovering from the effect of the substance, and then trying to figure out where to get the substance again. When
Mhm.
it comes to smartphone use, someone who might have an addiction to their smart devices tends to lose interest in everything else. Everything else is boring. It is not as stimulating enough as the content from the devices. And finally, last symptom, withdrawal symptoms. We know what withdrawal symptoms look like for someone who might have a substance use disorder. What do withdrawal symptoms look like from smartphones? Irritability, anxiety,
Mhm.
right? Uneasiness. If we forget our phone inside the house and we are already in the car, we can't go. We've got to get it. We are attached to our devices. We feel anxious when we are not around them. So, all that to say, no, we are not overstepping by calling digital addiction what it needs to be called, because what we are seeing in real life, what I'm seeing with my patients on a day to day basis, there is no other way to describe it.
I can't tell you how validated I feel. So, so thank you.
You're welcome, Hillary.
Because I felt a little gaslit in the back. I gotta tell you. Okay, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how to set up a series of strategies to ungrip devices so we can grip life.
Diving into the world of smartphones can be a wild ride for kids and parents alike. Whether your child is getting their first smartphone or has had one for a while, chances are they're still figuring out the do's and don'ts of using a smartphone wisely. Our book is here to help. Healthy Screen Habits for Tweens and Teens, a training workbook to help you use your phone wisely, is the tool your child needs to navigate life in the digital world. From tackling poor phone etiquette to addressing social media anxieties and online safety concerns, we have your child covered. Written especially for adolescents, we've put together all the information, tips, hacks, and rules to ensure that your child's phone is a useful tool that they control, not the other way around. We explain the whys behind the rules of phone use. We show your child the possible traps and dangers to watch out for, how to prevent them, and how to fix them if your child has made a mistake. We give your child the 5 core healthy screen habits to use daily, protecting them from some of the worst mistakes tweens and teens make while using their phones. This workbook will teach your child how to use their phone as a tool to help them do great things in their one amazing life, and it will make your life so much easier at the same time. Packed with colorful graphics and easy to read content, this resource is a game changer for kids. Don't miss out. Buy your copy of Healthy Screen Habits for Tweens and Teens on Amazon.com today.
I'm speaking with Dr. Gupta, who founded the Phreedom Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to inspiring individuals to reclaim their time and attention, unlocking the joys of life beyond screens. And I just want to point out, if you're going to look it up, I'm going to point out the spelling of Phreedom Foundation. Freedom is spelled with a PH, which is this playful twist on the words freedom and phone. The F sound. There, if we're going into phonemic awareness. Anyways, their mission isn't to give up our smartphones completely. Instead, it's about finding freedom by using our devices more mindfully so they enhance our lives without taking over. And before the break, you did a beautiful job outlining tech overuse as well as some of the consequences that you see in your practice. And can we now kind of dive into the concept of transforming mindsets from the escape, displace zone to engaging and replacing?
Absolutely, Hillary. That's a theory that I came up with based on what I was seeing. Again, most of my findings are based on what I'm seeing in my clinic. So, if given a choice, what would one tend to pick? If we had the option between preparing a PowerPoint presentation versus let me just scroll social media for a little bit, right? Another example could be exercising at the end of the day versus curling up on the couch because we are so tired, right? So, our smart devices are so readily available to help us escape from boring, mundane stress of real life. They help us escape from anxiety, from conflict. And in that unintentional attempt to escape from uneasy situations, we might have displaced some very essential activities in our daily life, such as sleeping, exercising, media-free family time, schoolwork, office work, focused driving. How does all of this translate into outcomes? We end up dealing with obesity, sleep disorders, fatigue, mental health, relationship issues, broken families, upward social comparison. What is upward social comparison? Comparing ourselves with everybody else on social media, how their perfect lives, their perfect bodies seem so much better than anything that we could ever have. It sends us down a spiral of unhealthy mental health patterns. It's important for us to acknowledge that we might be using our devices to escape from stress, anxiety, and boredom. In that process, we are displacing essential activities. What do we need to do? Instead of escaping, be mindful and engage with the task and the person in front of you. We've got to do some brain talk here. We've got to tell our mind, you know what? I just checked my phone 15 minutes ago, and I'm sure nothing new has changed in the news or in the weather or social media. So I can put my device down and I can actually focus and engage on the task in front of me. The activities that I might have displaced, like exercise and sleep and family time, we need to replace them back into our daily routine. That's the theory of escape, displace, do, engage, replace.
Love it. Love it all. Yes, it speaks directly to our core habit number 4, which is to ask, what's my purpose? Every time you pick up your device. So ask, what's my purpose and how long will it take? So we are rapidly headed into our summer months, right? And so many times, this is when the cry for social media from our teens becomes the loudest. And I get it. I get it. People are traveling, friends are separated. It becomes a big thing. We strongly stand and recommend holding off on teen personal social media accounts until 16. But are there mistakes that you have seen that you could help people avoid when parenting in the social media age?
One of the biggest mistakes, Hillary, that I have seen made in this context, and it's not an intentional mistake, it's coming from a blind spot that we are not aware of. And that is expecting our young people to exercise the force of their willpower to get off social media. It does
Mhm.
not work. Willpower
Mhm.
does not work. And why does it not work? Because willpower comes from a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. It's right here in the front of the brain. That prefrontal cortex helps us with self control and self discipline. It's only 50% developed by the time we are 18 and about fully developed by the time we are in our mid 20s. So, expecting a 12 or a 13-year-old child to be able to use the force of their willpower to get off addictive content does not work. The other unintentional mistake that I've seen in this space is blaming our young people for their tech use while we are unable to regulate our own tech use as grown-ups.
Mhm.
We are setting examples for our kids. They are watching us. If we are at home in the evening after hours spent on our screens, and our kids don't have screens and they are watching us, the message that is going to their brain is that they are less important than what is in our screens. They are less interesting. Then they will throw a tantrum to get our attention. Do they have attention deficit? Of course they have attention deficit. They want the attention, they're not getting it. They have attention deficit. Do they have ADHD? Well, that's a completely different story altogether. So we've got to find the time for real life human connection with our children so that they don't reach for that dopamine.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yes. And again, our organizations are completely aligned. We have tools to help families determine those limits in our free family tech plan. If you're interested, please visit the website and download that tool, customizable for your own family. So, Dr. Gupta, you are amazing. You seem to be at the top of your game in all professional areas,
Thank you.
plus coordinating community events like unplugged dining events at restaurants and being incredibly active in all areas. Do you have any strategies? This is totally coming from a selfish place. I got to be honest with you. I'm all healthy screen habits aside. How do you do this? Do you have strategies to help you achieve these levels of productivity and life balance?
Oh, thank you, Hillary. Thank you for acknowledging. It's taken a lot of time and efforts to get to this point where more and more people are aware of this conversation and willing to hear about this conversation. Because quite honestly, technology evolved so quickly in the last decade, Hillary, that parents like us were blindsided. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
asked us what is the right way to do it. We were just dished out device after device and app after app and content after content. But through organizations like yours and ours, we are finally, I think, making a dent in the issue that we are dealing with. So, how do I do it? Well, I have a big team that keeps me organized, but personally, I practice what I preach. So I'll share with you a few things that I personally use that help me keep a grip on my time and attention, which is how then I'm able to be creative in helping other families find solutions that work for them. So, the first and the most important way is to turn off non essential notifications. There are badges, there are banners, sounds, vibrations, notifications that show up on the home screen, lock screen, notification center. All of that is noise. Turn off the noise, calm the digital noise, which, by the way, is also the name of my book, which is coming out this summer. Calm the digital noise, calm the noise. So turn off non essential notifications so your device does not call you 500 times a day. You go to your device when you feel you need to go to your device so that you have control on yourself instead of your device controlling you. Number two, wear an analog wristwatch, not a smartwatch, an analog wristwatch, and use an old-fashioned alarm clock to set your alarm instead of being dependent on your smartphone as an alarm clock. And there are reasons why we are doing all of this, why I'm recommending all of this. And today we probably do not have the time to go into all of that science behind it, but I'm happy to have that conversation in more detail another time. The third recommendation is delete time consuming applications and content from your devices and from your kids' devices. And that would include video gaming apps, social media apps, news apps, things that are soul sucking and time consuming, things that are not nurturing you, things that are not uplifting you. I would highly recommend getting rid of those. And fourth, embrace boredom.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be bored. That's where creativity and focus thrive.
Excellent. Well, I have some bad news for me, and that's that even with those things in place at my house, I don't seem to have the level of productivity of yourself. except the team part. Maybe I need to outsource a few things here.
Or maybe
But
you should come attend one of our workshops, the Tweak Your Tech workshops. This is our most favorite and most asked for workshop. After that workshop, people do not feel that they have a relationship with their devices anymore. They feel free,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely free.
Keeping their tech as a tool, not as that emotional safety, security blanket.
Not as
Yeah,
escape, not as entertainment, not as distraction, using our devices as tools and only as tools. Because guess what? That is what they were originally designed to be.
exactly. Originally being the operative word. Okay, we have to take a short break, but when we come back, I am going to ask Dr. Gupta for her healthy screen habit. Do you know what's happening during your child's online exchanges? As well intentioned as we are, often reading every text message, post, and email is just not realistic. This is where Bark comes in to help. Founded in 2015, Bark Technologies provides a parental control app that monitors and alerts parents to online threats. Bark was created for parents by parents to offer a better, easier, and more effective way to keep children safe online. Bark monitors posts and messagings for things like signs of bullying and communication with dangerous strangers. Bark's algorithms analyze all activity and issue parents notifications via their chosen communication method. Gain peace of mind and get 10% off of Bark service for life by using the Healthy Screen Habits link. Go to our website at healthyscreenhabits.org, click on the Tools button in the drop-down menu, and look for products we endorse to find Bark. It will be the easiest click you make all day. Peace of mind is just a bark away. I'm speaking with Dr. Gupta, who is creating a healthier, more connected world through education, advocacy, and practical solutions. Now, on every episode of the Healthy Screen Habits podcast, I ask each guest for a healthy screen habit, and this is going to be a tip or takeaway that listeners can put into practice in their own home. What's yours?
The biggest one that has made a big difference to how I view digital wellness, not just for everyone else, but for me and my family, is this: physically separating yourself from your devices for at least 30 to 90 minutes every day. Not in your pockets, not in your hands, not in your backpacks, separated physically, cutting the cord for at least 30 to 90 minutes every day reduces our dependency and our need to always be connected, to always be on. That gives our brain a time to reset. And in that time, we find efficiency, productivity, and joy.
I love it. And I can't agree with you more. I got into the habit of when I have a beloved Black Labrador whom I walk every day. And I used to listen to podcasts while I was doing our walk. And I thought, I don't think I'm getting the most out of this activity by continuing input during this time. Like, I really wanted instead to see the seasonal changes around me and connect with my environment and just, spend some time deep breathing in nature and all of that. And so I have stopped taking my phone with me out on my walks. And I can't tell you, it's like I can feel my neurons just like stretching during that time because I feel so much more creative and just refreshed when we come back. So I cannot recommend that tip enough. I thank you for bringing it to the forefront.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Hillary.
Yes. So that is a wrap, both on this episode and on season 13. As always, Healthy Screen Habits will be going on hiatus during the summer months to spend time connecting with our own families and creating space to enjoy with each other. You can find a complete transcript of this show, as well as a link to the Phreedom Foundation website, by visiting the show notes for this episode. You do this by going to healthyscreenhabits.org, click the podcast button, and scroll to find this episode. I'm also going to recommend that if you are looking for a fun family summertime project, I could not recommend more the Healthy Screen Habits for Tweens and Teens workbook. $14.99 on Amazon. You can get it there. Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for being here today and for empowering lives, one family, one screen at a time. And I mean, that's how we're all making progress.
Thank you so much, Hilary. It was a pleasure being on your show today.
For more information, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Healthy Screen Habits. Make sure to visit our website, healthyscreenhabits.org, where you can subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode. It's free, it's fun, and you get a healthy new screen habit each week. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you giving us a quick rating. It really does help other people find us and spread the word of healthy screen habits. Or if you'd simply like to tell a friend, we'd love that too. I so appreciate you spending your time with me this week, and I look forward to learning more healthy habits together.